Hey, what's up? This is Sean, obviously. Um, I'm gonna do a video. It's like a match of the year thing. I mean, not all together, but like so far. First, I get the honorable mentions out of the way. Randy Orton versus Christian. I'd say more the SmackDown match, but both matches are pretty good. Yeah, Christian made Orton look like he was a star for once. Punk made him look alright, but yeah, Christian brought out the best in him. And also, a match I put above that is Roderick Strong versus Milk Chocolate Willie Mack. Yeah, this is Mack's like true uh, coming out party. I mean, him and Roger just tore it down. They beat the shit out of each other. Fans are probably trying to throw towels in. I mean, that was pretty violent. It was good. Willie Mack like broke a chair. It was cool. He's kind of fat. All right, and this is my list. I kind of basically from bottom to top. Um, Ohashi versus Gentaro. These are two just average wrestlers, but it was the world's first 7 referee match, and I've reviewed this before. Technically, it was December 31st, 2010. But this match supersedes years, so it skips to 2011 because it's magical. Shut the fuck up. Counts. Can't nominate it for last year. All right, then there was like a Survivor Series type match with over the top rope. Kengo, Miyamoto, Sasaki, Sawa, and Tamura versus Sasaki, HARASHIMA, Ishikawa, Hayato, and Sakura. This is like Big Japan 01. GET, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff. This is also on that December 31st New Year's Eve show, but fuck it. It was good. This was balls and vag to the wall. Head drops, stiff strikes, lots of sweating. It was like good sex, but even better wrestling. Yeah. A lot of people didn't nominate it. I did, so fuck them. I don't know. Alright, then they had a Haas and Benjamin versus Kings of Wrestling from the Undertaker Center Stage, Night 1, not main event, co-main event. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a good match. Alright, then Strong versus Briscoe for the world title. I believe it was only the Strong survive. It was brutal, bloody, stiff. In other words, it was the shit. Crazy table stuff, good stuff. Alright, then Sekimoto Daisuke versus Hidaka Ikuto. This is from a 0-1 show, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Just epic. It was pretty much an epic match. I mean, there's a little selling issue, but I think Sekimoto can no-sell a guy that's like 30, 40 pounds smaller than him. Maybe 50. Alright, then we got All Night Express versus the Briscoes from Center Stage ROH show, night 2. This is just, fuck. These guys are just hitting each other, bleeding buckets. This match was so violent, the Grim Reaper bought a front row ticket just in case someone died. Just gotta take your souls. Yeah, just hate-filled match, lots of blood. It just made you want to see the Briscoes get their ass kicked again. Alright, then we got Eddie Edwards versus Roderick Strong for the world title for Manhattan Mania 4, the main event. Yeah, I'm just a huge fan of Edwards. The crowd here is huge fans of Edwards. He puts on his hard hat, gets his lunch, puts on his tool belt, and that motherfucker goes to work. Best Roderick Strong match I've seen in a long time. It was better than the Jay Briscoe one. Eddie Edwards is the best. Well, not the best. Probably Claudio is. I don't know, it was a grippy match. Had me drawn in. Alright, then we have Leaders of the New School versus Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. WXW. I believe they had 2 matches. that I would say deserved nomination. One in Germany, which was longer, and a shorter one in Philly. Yeah, this is just a great match. You had just imagine hundreds of drunk Germans chanting, which is funny enough. Then you throw in basically a match that with that crowd. I mean, this match would with any crowd. I mean, you could have a bunch of Buddhist monks that took the vow of silence and they'd be losing their shit over this. So you imagine with that great crowd or drunk, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I mean, Cole and Zack Sabre Jr. had their own little hatred thing. It just seemed a really good match. I think anyone would be blown away by this. I mean, you won't see this in TNA even. Even when TNA's tag division was like on the top. No. They still, Cole and O'Reilly versus Leader of the New School is better. Alright, then I believe it was from the same show in WXW. Sekimoto Daisuke versus El Generico. No one in the world takes beating like El Generico. No one elicits the empathy more than El Generico. Just, I don't know. He against all odds. It's not like John Cena where he makes a miracle comeback and wins the match in the last 2 minutes. I mean, he's perfect. I've never heard of anyone booing El Generico, so he's great. Sekimoto is obviously great, but you go for Generico in this match. You have to be a prick not to cheer for him. Just suffering. He's taking the worst beatings. He keeps going. Alright, next match is Edwards versus Daniels from ROH. It wasn't a center stage show. 9th anniversary, 2 out of 3 falls. This match just brutal. It didn't have the greatest finish in some people's opinions. I thought it was perfect because they actually used it later on. Yeah, just their best bout to date, easily. Alright, then we have, we're getting really close to the nitty-gritty. These are my favorite matches. El Generico versus the 1-2-3 Kid, Sean Waltman, and Chikara is King of Trios, night 3, I believe. Ray DeVoller or something or another. Yeah, great match. This was made greater by Generico. Possibly amazing, yeah. Best Waltman match I've seen since, like, ever. That's Waltman, like, past his prime, and he's, like, ready to retire any day now. Like, he even said it himself. So that shows what kind of wrestler Generico is. I mean, I got Generico, Claudio, Hero. Those are my best wrestlers. There's also another wrestler, Sekimoto Daisuke, and his partner, Okabayashi, Yuji, versus Sanada and Soya. All Japan Pro Wrestling. They had a trilogy of great matches, but the third one I'd put on this, I really nominate them all. Just YouTube Sekimoto and Okabayashi versus Sanada and Soya. I'll put maybe I'll put a link in there. I'll definitely put the name of the match. They have 3 matches and they're about to have a 4th one. They're just epic. Best tag wrestling this year, easy. These guys make the machine guns and Beer Money Feud look like a fucking tea party. Alright, then we got a match I saw live. Eddie Edwards versus Chris Hero, ROH World Title, May 7th, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. This is just raw motion. You had guys dumping each other in their heads. You had Edwards would not go down. You had Hero work over his arm. I don't know. Just great stuff. This reminded me kind of well, I guess it was sort of like a Jumbo versus Misawa match, in a way. Hero was definitely in the Jumbo role. And this is number 2. And I saw this live. And live ratings are sometimes higher than when you see it on DVD, usually. The top match of 2011 so far, Claudio Castagnoli versus El Generico, PWG, Kurt Russell reunion 2, the main event. This show was like 4 hours, and this was, I don't think it was like 1:30 in the morning. The fans should have been completely out of it, but this match was so good. Best use of limb work I've seen probably in like 5 years, maybe ever. It was great. Just, everything about this is great. Epic struggle. Generico just looked like he could do it. Claudio looked like the dominant guy. I mean, they're like kind of switched around, but it was usually Claudio cutting Generico off anytime he got anything too substantial. So it was done very, very well. Great finish. The limb work actually mattered in this match. It was actually an integral part. Alright, so this has been my 2011 match for the year so far, recommendations. Also, check out Claudio versus Joey Ryan from the new Card Subject and Chain show. And the main event of that show, I mean, it's a spot fest. It's a clear, brutal spot fest, but it's very good, entertainment-wise. I'm not nominating it, but Joey Ryan versus Claudio Castagnoli. I'll show you why Claudio is the best big man, I guess, in wrestling. How he's top 3 in the world. Claudio, Hero, Generico. I didn't mention the Japanese wrestling in there. And that's my forte, so for me to be given a Gaijin, I guess. For me to be given like 3 Gaijin, that honor, it's, I don't know, it should mean a lot. Considering like my all-time favorite wrestlers are usually Japanese. Alright, this has been my video, and you can disagree if you want, send your own recommendations. Yeah. And please don't tell me Ricochet's the greatest wrestler of all time or some shit like that. He has crazy spots, but basically he's like an accurate version of Jack Evans. He actually hits the moves and they look good. Jack Evans used to completely miss them and he still got praise, but yeah. Anyway, it's been long enough, about 12 minutes. It's changed, so I'll see you later, and I think I need some water. Adios.